Okay, so we are on the last law of the three laws of motion by Isaac Newton. Okay, so we are on the third law of motion. So, saan ang naa sa third law of motion and what is the concept behind the third law of motion? Okay, so first is we'll go back to the contact forces and non-contact forces. So, na-explain ako before in my previous videos, my first video actually, that we have contact forces and we have non-contact forces. Unsa na siyang contact forces? These are forces that needs to have contact, physical contact, no? So the object should have a physical contact ani na mga na mga let's say forces para or let's say um, just like surface, no? So kung naay contact ang object o ang surface, then that may produce friction. Friction is a kind of contact forces. So pa, we have applied force. Applied force is also a kind of contact forces. Of course, you cannot apply force if dili nimo matouch ang isa ka object, no? So in order to apply force, you need to touch the object first. So that is why it is also a part of contact forces, no? So naa siya contact na interaction. So we have normal force. Normal force isa siya ka contact force kay dapat na ay surface or na ay wall ang dapat naka-contact sa surface or sa wall ang isa ka object para na ay normal force. Okay? Then we have friction, kung mention kanina. Tension. Tension is also a contact force kay need dapat in contact ang body o I mean body and or object sa rope or cord or anything that has tension on na ay tension. And of course, the applied force. Muna sila ang mga example sa contact forces, no, some of the contact forces that we know. Now there are also other forces that is at a distance or action at a distance. That is what we call the non-contact forces. So ang non-contact forces dili jud nila need na mag-contact to interact with the object. Just like the force of gravity. So force of gravity or Fg does not need any contact. Basta may yang needed, basta kay duol ra siya. Okay? Just like when you are, let's say you are on the top of the building, tapos you drop something, of course, the force of gravity will still interact with that object even though it is far away from the ground. So, um, gravitational force, magnetic force, and electrical force, mo na sila ang mga non-contact forces. Dili nila need of contact, physical contact. Okay? Now, we are on Newton's third law. Newton's third law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Same meaning ani niya ning equal. What does it mean by equal tapos opposite? Okay, so what they meant by equal is that change na akong color. Okay, so what they meant by equal is equal ang magnitude. So hantod karon naagya po yung mga students na wala kasabot unsa ang magnitude. Unsa din ang magnitude? Magnitude is the value of your force. Let's say that F1 is 50 newtons. Unsa yung magnitude? 50. That itself is the magnitude. Okay? Naiuban gihapon na naglisod o grasp ana na concept. Unsa na siya si magnitude? Magnitude is the numbers itself. Okay? The values itself. 50. Mao na siya si magnitude. It means 50 newtons ang iyahang magnitude. sa force. So, in every action, there is an equal in magnitude and opposite. Also the meaning sa opposite? Kinsay opposite? Opposite nga direction. Direction ng iyang pasabot, ana. Okay? So, unsay meaning ani nila? Kinsa man ang action, kinsa man ang reaction. Okay? So, let's say that na kay action. You have repercussions of that action. No? So, just like in real life, if you have like tanan na atong actions, there are repercussions. It may be good, it may be bad, it is equal, no? In kung unsay mong action. Let's say that F1 is our action. Nganong action man si F1? And that is because if you have mass, syempre innate man ang mass sa isa ka object. Dili man nimo mawala, no? One of the property of matter is it has mass. Matter, isa ka object. Of course, mass is innate in an object. So it means siya ang nauna. No, siya ang action. Just because you have mass, you have Fg. So let's say, since this is going downward, F1 is actually Fg. It is the gravitational force because it's going downward. No? So, si Fg dira amo na siya si F1 na si it is 50 newtons. Siya ang ato ang action. Now, kinsa or unsa ang iyahang reactions? Ningon siya, kada na ay action na ay equal in magnitude and opposite na direction na reaction. So here, we have a reaction na F2. Unsa man si F2? F2 is our normal force. It is because the chair is on the surface. Okay, naa siya sa surface. So it means, kay naa may surface, ug hatagan nimo siyag action na 50 newtons, magbalik pud siya og equal in magnitude, which is 50 newtons, pero opposite na direction. Okay, so that's what it means by that law. The thing with third law is more on concepts, yeah. No? Situational usually ang mga kanang mga questions about third law. Also in the exam, it is situational. Situational, say situation ani. Asa dapit diri ang nag-execute or ang na ay ginapakita nga ginagamit ang third law. Something like that. Okay? Excuse me. Like this. So here, we have our action, which is Fg. Ang reaction nato is ang F norm. It is because without Fg, wala may Fn. Okay? Dili man mobalos ang surface kung walay action. Okay, so something like that. So, the F1 and the F2 here, the force 1 and the force 2 here, which is our Fg and Fn, remember, this is not a free body diagram. Mao na ang ilahang arrows. Okay, this is not a free body diagram. Ano na siya? Diagram lang. Okay, normal diagram. Diagram of a chair. Okay, so kani si F1 and si F2, mao na siya ang ginatawag nato nga action-reaction pair. Okay, again, these are what we call action-reaction pairs. Sila ang pares. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 3 action and reaction pairs. So F3, same na siya. Pero same naman si F3 because the leg here also have an equal force sa leg ani. No, they are inserting the same force sa ato ang surface. And since kani magong F2 is like whole niya nga F2, kaning F1 is whole niya nga mass. Kaning F3 is ang mga forces na gina-insert of sa each na leg. sa chair. Okay, sa each leg. That is why medyo gamay siya. Let's say that F3 is sa ba? 50 divided by 4. Okay, so let's say that each of them has a 12.5. No? Okay, upat man na kabuok ang atong 12.5. Okay, so if F3 is 12.5, kay pa-down man siya, so it is actually an action. Okay? Because sila gikan man ni sila ani. Na-distribute lang. Na-distribute ang iyalahang weight. Tungod ana sa upat. Na-distribute ang ing weight nga 50 newtons. So, pag na-distribute sila, 12.5 each sila. Ang whole ang 50. Okay? So, since F3 is 12.5, that is the action, unsa man iyang pares. Ang pares niya is, of course, ang F4, which is ang normal force na gina-exert sa surface pabalik po. Okay? So, if the 12.5 ang F3, di ba, for third law, equal and opposite, 12.5 pa niya siya. Equal in magnitude, pareho sila magnitude, 12.5, pero opposite sila of direction. And that is true sa upat kabuok nga legs. All in all, they have 50 nga weight and also 50 nga normal force. Mao na meaning ana. Okay? So, forces always comes in pairs. No? Yes, usually yun, pair gina sila. Okay? Naagi na siya pares. Okay? So here, the examples of interaction force pairs. Okay. So for every action, there's an equal in size or magnitude and opposite in direction reaction force. Okay? So, usa man ang ato ang action diri asa. No? So, kinsa man atong action diri? Ang action diri is ang propel sa isda sa iyahang fin or sa iyang tail. Now, that is the action. Nganong mo go forward man ang isda? It is because um, the tail, ang ilang tail is gina-propel nila or gina-wave nila, no? So, pag gina-push nila ang water backwards, say, gina-push nila, push backward, that is the action. So, kani siya ang action. Contact force of the fish on the water. Si blue, ang ato ang action. So, unsa man ang balos or unsa may reaction, ang water pod ang mo contact or maghatag og contact force sa fish. Okay? So, mao ni sila ang nag-interact, ang water ug ang fish. So, it means ang interaction force pairs kay sa ilaha ra pod duha. Okay? So, water lang gihapon ug sa fish. So, si fish ang una naghatag og action ug ang water naghatag og reaction. Okay? So the thing with the third law is you need to know which is the partner of which force. Dapat ka mo kinsa ang partner. Okay, naamang ko'y later na ay ano dito, na ay mga instances dito, na ay mga situations later na may tao ninyo kinsa ang partner sa lahi-lahi. No, okay? With that, dapat dili ka masaag kung kinsa ang partner. Okay? So that is the reaction. Water on fish. Kaya dili man pwede na ang water ang contact una sa fish, no? Because water is there. But if it push sa water sa fish ang water, then that is the time that the water pushes the fish back, and that is why mo propel sila forward or mo go forward ang mga fish because of that action. Okay? Next is also the same sa bird. Why birds can fly. So ganina is how fish swim. This time is how birds fly. Same gihapon siya. Kinsa man ang nae-action, ang bird mismo. Because of the action of the bird, ang air pod is mo push up sa iya. It's like here, kanay ang fish magod is horizontal. Horizontal siya nga forces. Ang sa bird is a vertical one. No? So the action here is the wing of the bird pushes the air downward. So push nila down niya sa may reaction. Ang air pod is mo push sa bird pataas. Okay, so it pushes the bird up, and the that is why birds can fly because of how the air push birds up. So that is why they need their wings na kanang pantay ilang wings. Why? Because if dili pantay ang ilahang pag-push sa air, pwede sila na kanang maglain-lain ang ilang direction. If they really want to go like upward or good, then they need to have balance. No? Balance na forces on both wings. So that's why if they want to change the direction, they sometimes mag-diagonal sila kay para mag-tilt ang balance sa ilahang wings. Okay? Tilt ang air nga na silang wings. Ang air nga mo push sa ilahang wings. I mean. Excuse me. Okay. Now we are on the cars. Okay. Now if dili nato i-neglect ang air resistance, ang driving force. Okay. So kani is di ba ningon ko ganina na so last na mga discussions that cars has like special ang ilahang motion, no? As you can see sa ilang free body diagram, friction lang ang present sa ilaha. Okay? Ganun friction naman ang present sa ilaha, and that is because they have what we call the driving force, no? Because the driving force is not an applied force because it is from within the car or the car itself. The body itself is the one that is moving itself. Okay? So, here, naatay weight. Okay? So, we have weight. Unsa man ang partner sa weight or the FG. FG na siya, si weight. G. Kinsa man ang partner sa FG. Ang partner sa FG is si normal force. Kaning reaction force. Kaning blue. Okay? So, kaning si green, si FG, iyang partner is kaning naa pataas, which is distributed by the wheels of the car. So, upat ka buok ang nag-distribute. So, let's say if this is, let's say, 100, okay? So, if, not by 100, no, let's make it 1,000 para car. Okay, let's say that the FG is 1,000. Okay? So, pag 1,000 ang iyahang weight, pila man ang normal force each car tires. No? Since upat man ka car tires, it means that ang normal force should also be 1,000. 1,000 kay equal man. 1,000 Newton. Pero kay upat man ang tires, it means each tire will have 250 newtons na normal force. Each tire ha, kada tire na ay normal force nga 250. So 250 times 4, 1,000. Okay, I hope you get that, no? Na-distribute lang siya. Pero equal gihapon siya sa weight. Okay? So pwede ma-distribute si normal force. Depende sa surface area. Or no, not surface area. Depende sa structure sa isa ka object. Just like this car, upat man kabuk ang nag-distribute sa iyang weight. Okay? So, upat pod ang mo receive sa normal force. So, if the weight is our action, the reaction force is the net force. Okay? I hope that is clear. Okay. Now, we have the driving force. Kasi driving force is not, dili gid siya appeal sa contact forces, dili gid siya appeal sa non-contact forces. It is a different kind of force. Okay? Is because it is from the mechanism of the car. Pero, appeal gihapon siya sa action and reaction pair. But the thing is, ang driving force magod is pwede niya makontrol ang iyahang force. So, let's say that if the driving force if is 50 and the friction is 50, kay siya man ang mo-oppose, kay ang driving force, siya man ang motion. Siya man ang mo-push. No, siya ang motion. Siya ang cause sa motion. Now, friction is the one that opposes that motion. So it means sila ang pares. Okay? I hope that is clear. And air resistance too. Kaso lang din sa air resistance is murag musagol na siya kay friction. So air resistance and friction. But usually si friction lang kay na mag-windshield ang car. So, naana sila mechanism to lessen the air resistance. So, mao nang ang windshield sa car is paana siya, pa-diagonal siya. Okay, to minimize the air resistance. Sorry, the air resistance that is encountered that is encountered by the car. So let's say wala unsa nato sa air resistance ha. Okay, para dili nato siya isagol. So if the driving force is 50 and the friction is 50, that means that the car won't move. Okay? Why? Because at the F net na 0. So wala acceleration if the F net is 0. But the thing with driving force is, as I have said earlier, is pwede nimo siya makontrol. So pwede nimo, but the friction, of course, yes, will stay the same as long as you are in the same material. So if you are on the same road na asphalt, let's say asphalt siya, asphalt to, and wala nag-change ang material sa imong road, asphalt to lagi siya all throughout, then it means it has the same friction. So, let's say nagstay na siya 15 newtons ang iyong friction, but the driving force is dako nimo siya into 100 newtons. So it means pwede na nakay F net. So when that happens, your F net is 50. And if there is F net, there is also acceleration. That is the time that your car will move. Mumove na siya kay na-encountered na yan namang na-overcome ang friction. And of course, that is static friction. Na mapunta yung natawag na kinetic friction na kailangan continuously na ma-overcome sa imuhang driving force. No? So, that is why, kung mag-slow down ka, ma-overcome ma-overcome gid sa driving force sa friction ang driving force. So, ma-stop gid na imong car if kanang mag-slow down. Okay? And that is because when you're slowing down, your driving force is also decreasing. Okay? So, kani ang ato ang action and reaction here is the driving force and of course the frictions. Frictions na air and friction na sa road. Okay? So, those are the action-reaction pairs. So, pwede nato i-partner si driving force or friction, or pwede nato iisa si friction, and then sila duha, or pwede po driving force and air resistance. Pwede na sila. Okay? Basta action-reaction pair sila. Okay? Okay. So, for this situation, while driving down the road, a firefly strikes the windshield of a bus and makes a quite obvious mess in front of the face of the driver. So, bale, nahagip siya sa atong windshield sa bus. Now, this is a clear case of Newton's third law of motion. The firefly hit the bus and the bus hit the firefly. Which of the two forces is greater? The force of the firefly or the force of the bus? Okay, so this is what I told you. This is what I meant by the third law is about situations. No, mga situational siya. Ani siya ang murag, kasi maiana ang mga manggawas sa exam. It is a situational na scenario. Situational. Okay. So here, nanguta na siya, which of the forces is greater? Ang force sa firefly or ang force sa boss? Of course, first di mo na nahuna, of course, the greater is on the boss. It is because the boss is massive. But remember, kinsay ni bangga una. The firefly. Okay? So it means, kung unsa tong hatag ni firefly, maura pod ang ibalos ni boss. So, if the firefly gives 1 Newton of force to the boss or to the windshield sa boss, then maura pod ang ibalos sa boss. So here, there is no, walay mas greater. They are equal. They are equal. Okay? Pero nga nung nabungkag man siya, hindi siya obvious mass. So it means na ni-splatter gid siya. No? Kay tungod sa iyang smaller mass. It is because of its mass maong nahitabo to. So that is why in like car crashes, the smaller vehicle will be the one na, you know, grabe ang damage. That is because of dili nila ma-withstand ang force na ilahang gi-apply mismo sa massive na object. Okay? Kay mao man pod kung pila ang ilang gihatag dito sa ilahang nabangga, mao po'y mobalik sa ilaha. And sometimes they cannot withstand that force. Okay, so that is why splatter ang isa ka collision din. Okay. Next is, many people are familiar with the fact that rifle recoils. Gun, okay? Gun, they recoil. Pag kada shoot mo, recoil sila. No? So, this recoil is actually the result of the action-reaction force pairs. Of course, naghatag man kag action sa imong action. Okay, so a gunpowder explosion creates hot gases that expand outward, allowing the rifle to push forward on a bullet. So, say action, pag forward sa bullet. O say reaction, ang recoil. Okay? So, that is why when you are shooting a real gun, not just a game gun, no? So, kaya ang ubang mga game na mga guns are, you don't have, like, they have zero recoils. No? So sa the real life rifles and guns, they do have recoils. And the smaller the gun is, the bigger the recoil. Do you understand why? No? Smaller man siya iyang mass. So it means, mas dako iyang recoil. Mas dako ang balik. Kaya dili niya ma-withstand ang force. Okay. So that is why, that is why before na mas dali, because I have tried shooting guns. Mas dali i-fire ang isa ka M16 kaysa sa isa ka pistol. Because in M16, you can counter the recoil by your shoulder. Pwede hindi mo siya ma-recoil, ma-counter ang recoil by putting the M16 on your shoulder. Pwede hindi kayo kusog ang recoil. But on pistol, you are relying on your both hands. No? So, naay times na when you are dealing with pistols, if dili nimo makaya ang recoil o dili pastar ang imuhang hands, naay times na mo shoot upwards siya. Okay? So the answer is letter B. Yan ang letter B man. The letter B, acceleration of the recoil rifle is smaller than the acceleration of the bullet. Diba? Sa atong second law, we have mass is inversely proportional to the acceleration. So the smaller the mass, the bigger the acceleration is. So kay smaller man ang bullet kaysa sa recoiling na rifle, the acceleration is smaller than the bullet. I hope that is clear. No. So that is letter B. Remember sa acceleration and mass, they are inversely proportional. Oh, sorry. Okay, so below, the boy is pulling upon a rope that is attached to a wall. In the bottom picture, the boy is pulling upon a rope that is attached to an elephant. In each case, the force scale reads 500 newtons. So Kent, or the boy, is pulling A, with more force than the rope is attached to the wall. B, with more force with the rope is attached to the elephant. C, the same force in each case. So here we're talking about force, di ba? So sa force man, so kung pila ang iyahang gihatag or pila iyahang action, iyang action is 500 newtons per may ang iyahang gibalos. Or I mean, no, iyahang gipul. So, ang balos ana sa wall o sa elephant is also the same. 500 newtons gihapon. No? So, it means that is letter C. C, the same force in each case. Okay. So, for years, again, for years, space travel was believed to be impossible because there was nothing that rockets could push off in space. No, niyon sila na dili man ta makadto og gawas kay wala, if there is action and reaction pair, walay walay reaction ang rocket. No, kay wala man siya ma-push off sa space. Wala man, di ba? Walay air. There's nothing in this space, just vacuum. So, unsa may maka-push sa rocket? Okay? So, walay mo provide o propulsion necessary to accelerate. So, unsaon pag, di ba, in order to accelerate, dapat na ay action and reaction pairs. So, this inability of a rocket to provide propulsion is because, okay, so, the answer here is letter D. Nonsense. Because rockets do accelerate in space and have been able to do so for a very long time. Okay? So, letter D. Nga naman di ay og walay air. No? Maka-accelerate gihapon ang mga rockets. How will they be able to propel in the space if walay air na pwede mo push balik sa ila, or walay surface na pwede mo push balik sa ilaha. Diba? We need the contact force para lang naay mo push sa ilaha balik. So sige kag propel sa imong rocket. Kunay sige kag propel sa imong rocket, walay mo push sa iya forward. Of course, it will not go forward. So, how do rockets do it? Okay, so it is something like this. Okay, so let's say that we have this situation na naa ka sa isa ka skateboard. Okay, and you're sitting on the skateboard. Now, naa kay bola nga gigunitan. And then, when you are in the skateboard, dapat dili pug ka mo tamak sa floor. No? So, if you are at rest, tapos imuhang gi-push ang ball, you will have this backward na motion. Okay? Tay tungod sa imuhang action na gi-push nimo ang ball, naa siya reaction na going forward. I mean, going to the, kani siya backward, palikod. No? Tungod sa gi-push niya ang ball, mo ni siya yung action, na siya reaction na pwede siya maka-accelerate or maka-move sa pikas na direction. And that is the concept between the rockets. Wala sila'y normal force, wala sila'y air resistance because there's no air there, there's no surface there, pero naa sila'y ginatawag na thrust. Thrust is very vital sa mga flying objects just like airplanes, rockets, isa pa, sa mga helicopters, basically kanang mga made to fly na mga mechanisms. So they have what we call thrust. Okay? So the force ang gighimo sa kaning si rocket is since wala man sila'y something na maka-push sa ilaha, lahi ang ilahang approach. That is what we call the law of conservation of linear momentum. Momentum. Okay? So because of linear momentum, or momentum itself, sa man ng momentum, ma'am? Momentum is defined as, wait lang, where is the, okay, momentum, I'm sorry for the, okay, so momentum is defined as the mass of the object times the velocity. So as long as you have the mass and you have the velocity introduced, you will have momentum. Okay? So simply, it says that ang conservation law ningon siya na ang isa ka closed na system, ang total momentum will be constant. So if gihatagan nimo siya momentum, naghatag kag momentum dire, maopoy ibalos niya dira. Okay? So ang diri sa ato ang rocket, naatay positive, naatay negative. Kinsay diri sa ato ang first na object, ay sa ato ang first na scenario, kinsay positive diri? Katong action, kani ang positive. Unsa man ang iyahang opposite? Of course, this one, which is a negative. So tungkol sa iyahang action, there is a reaction na motion. Okay? So gihatagan ni gi-introduce niya velocity. Naghatag siya velocity. Okay? So ana siya ang momentum. Mao pod na ang underlying mechanism behind rockets, why they can propel in space. That is because of the engine. But if makita niyo sa mga videos, so ang mga rockets, they have this rocket engine. Ug unsa ay ilahang first thing na ginahimo when they want to go to space? They propel lots of hot gases. No? Nag-exhaust sila og hot gases padulong asa man papaba. Nag-introduce sila og momentum ato. So kay pababa man ang ilahang hot gas, what will it do? It will have the thrust. Okay? So si thrust, mao na siya ang reaction because of the gas motion. Tungod sa mga hot gases na gipropel sa rocket. Iyahang gipagawas. Okay? Gipagawas niya hot gases. What is the result? What's the reaction? Thrust. Okay? So dapat ma-overcome sa thrust ang weight sa ato ang rocket. Dapat mas dako pa si thrust sa atong weight. Kaya nga naman, kung dili mo dako si thrust or dili niya ma-overcome ang weight sa object, dili sila mulupad. Okay? So that is why they need, no? So dapat they need to overcome the weight. If mapansin po niyo sa mga rocket, they have like tulo ka buok nga engine, na tulo ka propelling engine. First is the way na kanang mo take off sila, and then mahulog na dayon tong isa ka engine, tapos napoy isa na pampahawa sa atmosphere sa Earth. Tapos na napoy isa pa pod para dito sa space. No, so they need at least 3 ata or 4 depending depends on their capacity of that engine's fuel, no, capacity ano niya. So that is why engines can move on space because of thrust. So ang action nato dire is ang gas motion. Ang reaction nato is si thrust, which thrust should overcome the weight. Dapat mas dako siya kay weight, of course. Okay? So, now we need to identify interaction force pairs. No? So, forces always comes in pairs known as action-reaction force pairs. Okay, so for example here, kinsa ang nag-interact first? Si baseball and si baseball bat. Si ball o si bat ang nag-interact. So, kinsa man ang action dire. Okay? So, the baseball forces the bat to the left. No? So, si baseball di ay padulong sa left. Of course, si pitcher man ang una maghatag og bola, 'di ba? So siya ang action. Kaya siya may una naggilabay ang ball. Then, unsa ang reaction sa paglabay niya if mahit sa bola, mahit sa batter ang bola, katong bola naghatag siya og force, si bat pod is maghatag siya og force na equal sa unsay gihatag sa ato ang baseball. Okay? So sila ang pares. Ang baseball nagihatag, this is the action from the baseball, and kani siya na force is from the baseball bat. Kani siya sa bat. Action, reaction. Okay? So you need to identify kinsa si action, kinsa si reaction. No? So ing ana siyang situations sa third law. Okay. So here. Okay? So unsay pares ani? Let's say that this is the action. The action is the baseball pushes the glove leftwards. Okay? So if tanaw nimo ang diri ang first na statement, kinsa man ang iyahang gi-interact? Ang baseball, iyahang gi-push si glove. So kinsa man ang iyahang pares? Si glove pod. No? So if this is the action, the reaction will be glove pushes ball, say opposite man, leftward man eh, so it is rightward. Okay, I hope that's clear. No? Kung kinsa ang iyahang object na gi-interact diri, maura po na sila ang mag-react. Okay, so walay appeal ang helmet sa sa ato ang player, walay appeal ang player gid mismo kay it is talking about the glove. Okay? So si baseball lang o si glove. Next one. So the bowling ball pushes the pin leftward. So what is our reaction? So our reaction there is, so since ang ato ang interaction man diri is about the pin and the bowling ball, so syempre ang partner sa ato ang bowling ball is the pin. So pin pushes bowling ball. Since leftward man ang atong action, it is the opposite, so rightward. So ano siya? Okay? So that is the action and the reaction. Kanyang action, reaction. Okay, now here. Okay, based on past experiences, daghan ang mamali ani. Okay. So if this is our action nato is enclosed air particles push balloon wall outward, kinsa man ang iyang pares. Iyang pares is since it talks about enclosed air particles and balloon wall, so it means balloon wall gihapon ang iyang ka-interact. So balloon wall push enclosed air particles outward man. So the opposite of outward is inward. So it is inward. Okay, so that is the answer. The balloon wall push enclosed air particles inward. Yan na siya. Next is, okay, consider the interaction depicted below between foot A, ball B, and foot C. The three objects interact simultaneously or at the same time. Simultaneously means at the same time. So identify the two pairs of action-reaction forces ani nga situation. So first is kinsa man ang action. Okay, let's say that the first pair is foot A. Okay, push ball B to the right. So let's say that that is the first one. Foot A, push ball B to the right. That is the action. The action. So man ang reaction ana. So the reaction ana, since sila man duha ang nag-interact, si ball B na pod ang ma-react. So ball B, push, foot A. So since it is going to the right ang atong action, then that is going to the left. So that is the first one. Remember that this is action and reaction pair. So duha gina sila every duha gina sila, no? So this is the first action and reaction pair. Now we will find the next one. So ang next one is action is foot C, push ball B to the left. Okay? Is pushing to the left. So unsay balos, unsay reaction. So the reaction is the ball B push foot C to the right. Okay, then that is the two action and reaction pairs that is seen or na pwede na itong makuha dira na situation or dira nga drawing, na diagram. So we have this first and the second one, no? So mo na sila ang imuhang makuha dira. Now, for example here, okay, let's say that tanaw mag-identify ta og at least 5 pairs of action-reaction force pair in the following diagram. Actually, 10 less there were 10. 10 na sila kabuok ang action-reaction pairs in that diagram. But I will just give you 5. No? So, first action and reaction pair. Okay. First reaction pair is action, the elephant's feet, push backward on the ground. As you can see here, pa-backward siya. No? So, dili siya normal force and FG. Kaya FG and normal force are on the vertical man. Ang iyaha man is pa-backward man siya. Okay? So, sa iyang partner. Ang iyang partner is, of course, ang pa-forward na reaction. So, if it is going backward on the ground, the reaction will be the ground pushes the feet, the elephant's feet, forward. Okay? So, mo na siya ang iyahang first pair. Okay? First pair. Reaction and reaction. Okay. Next is another one. Okay. Let's say that the second one, the right rope pulls the elephant body leftward. Okay, gina-pull man siya ani sa boy. Gina-pull siya ani sa boy, and then the boy is being pulled by the tractor. Okay, so it means the elephant is being pulled. No, ganun dili man ang boy akong gibutang. No, ganun dili man boy ang imong gibutang diri as a rope, ganong rope man. And that is because ang contact manggod sa elephant is ang rope. Okay, do you understand? The elephant is in contact with the rope, not with the boy. That's why si rope akong gibutang. Dili si boy. Dayo ra kay si boy. Okay? But they are interacting because of the rope. Okay, si boy nagunit sa rope, si elephant na nahikot sa rope. So it means they are also interacting, pero through the rope. Ang ilahang contact is ang rope. I hope that's clear. Okay, so the reaction, Ana, is since leftward man, ang elephant's body is pulling the rope rightward. The right rope rightward. Okay, so that is the second one. Okay. Remember that duha gyud sila per may action reaction pairs gali. So let's say patulo. Okay, so let's say that the right rope pulls the man rightward. Then, so man ang reaction. So it involves the rope, the right rope, and the man. So it means the man pulls the right rope leftward. Just like that. And then we have the third action and reaction pairs. Okay, now how about the fourth one? So fourth one, pwede na, okay, pwede na tractor, wait. Pwede na the tractor pulls the left lobe leftward. So it is between the left rope, kaning a rope, and sa tractor. So the reaction there is the left rope pulls the tractor back to the right. Okay, so that is, oh wait, number 4. That is number 4, tractor. Isa pa. Okay, last one, we have this. Okay, so pwede po na the left rope is pulling the man leftward. So, sa reaction niya, si right rope si left rope gihapon ato ang interaction, gi-interact. So, the left rope is pulling the man rightward. Okay, so ano na siya? So, these are some of the action-reaction pairs that can be found in this situation. Actually, daghan ni sila. Like traction, ang tractor o ang ground, ang sa pa, kaning elephant ang tagang ground, no? So, naapa na siya. Daghan pa na. Okay, so these are some of the action and reaction pairs that can be found here in this equation. So I hope you have understood the third law of motion. Actually, the third law of motion is mostly concept ra gid siya. Yan na ay partner. So kada action naa siya partner na reaction. Okay, so there is a partner reaction. Okay. So, just like falling, kunwari, falling ang isa ka object, it is na siya gravity, yung weight, and then naapoy air resistance na mo-push sa iya back. So, that is still an action-reaction pair. Okay? So, naapoy the earth, let's say, na falling na object, the earth is pulling the apple to the ground. So, unsa may pares ana? If the apple is the earth is pulling, let's say, the the ground is pulling the apple to the ground. What is the reaction? So reaction ana. It is because it is between the apple and the ground. So it means ang iyang reaction is the apple is also pulling the ground. Ana siya. The apple is pulling the ground downwards man siya. The apple is also pulling the ground upward. Nga naman, ma'am. And it's because if you have mass, you have gravity. So every mass or every object that has mass, they have the capability to pull an object. Okay? But the thing on the earth is dili ma-present or dili nato ma-feel ang ato ang gravitational pull, our own pulling force. That is because the earth's pulling force or the gravitational force, I mean, is much bigger than ours. Okay. Ano siya? Okay. Ano siya? So that will be for the third law of motion. Now, karon is maghatag lang kog pointers on say manggawas sa exam. For the exam, Let me see. Actually, mas daghan ang concepts sa exam kaysa sa mga problem solving. Okay, so most of the questions are concept and situational. Mga situations siya. Okay, so if it is mga situations, it also usually involve around projectile, concepts of projectile, na ay, um, what is projectile motion, giun sa pag-solve ang horizontal o vertical na motion, how to get the final velocity of this object if kani ang gihatag na mga given, no? So just like what I did with your summative exam number 1, nalilahi-lahi na ko ang mga given. Okay? So then we also have the inertial frame of reference. I think usa na siyang inertial frame of reference. So inertial frame of reference kay nag-ano sa ako ani. Inertial frame of reference is actually a frame of reference I think I already introduced you about the different kinds or different situation of or identifying the frame of reference katong sa train na person A na siya sa train and person B na siya sa ground. So they both have different frame of references. Okay? But the thing with inertial frame of reference is kani siya nga frame of reference nag-follow siya sa law of inertia. What's the point sa law of inertia? You have acceleration is equal to 0. Okay? 0 meter per second or meter per second squared. Huh? So it means nag-follow siya sa law of inertia. So if it is at rest, it will continue to be at rest. If it is in motion, it will continue to be in motion. Mauna na siya ang meaning sa inertial frame of reference. Okay? It follows the law of inertia. How about the non-inertial? Kana pong non-inertial ma'am, so man po na. Wala siya nag-follow. Okay? Wala siya nag-follow. Non-inertial frame of reference is a frame of reference that does not follow the law of inertia. So meaning ana, the acceleration is not equal to 0. So meaning ani acceleration is not equal to 0. Dili constant ang iyahang velocity. Magbag-o-bag-o ang iyang velocity or ni-increase ang iyang speed, ni-slow down siya. That is non-inertial frame of reference. Okay? So, kunwari, naka sa isa ka train. Ang train is nipaspas siya. Nikalit siya paspas. Nikalit man, so nag-change ang iyang velocity. So, kato siya nga train na imong gisakyan is a non-inertial frame of reference. Ana. Pero if katong train imong gisakyan is constant ra ang iyang velocity all throughout your journey, all throughout your travel, then it is in a frame, inertial frame of reference. Ano ra? Okay? So, next is, after that, the 3 laws of motion is also daghan siya concept sa exam, especially the first law and the third law because sila man usually ang medyo concept ra, no? Tapos, na ay problem solving sa second law and sa application of second law. That is actually the coverage of the exam. Katurag yun. 3 laws of motion and projectile motion. So that will be all for this video. So good luck to your exams. If you're watching this right now, gonna study hard. Not that hard, but get the main points. Get the main points of the laws, 3 laws of motion. No, make sure to take notes. Know the core of each law. O say ilahang Kasi tawag, ano, ipaglaban. O say center nila. Ano, o say center sa ilang statement. O say ginamin sa ilang statement. Mora gina siya ang dapat ninyo ma-remember for the third law and the first law and the second law. Okay. So that will be all for today, and good luck on the exams on Monday, general physics. Okay. Bye.